Home is more than just a place. It's a feeling, a connection. That's why finding the right community to call home is important. But with so many options, how do we decide on the best place to live? I'm Christina Cote, real estate broker, comedian, and host. Through my experience, I've learned that the perfect neighborhood has more than just shopping and places to eat. It offers great living, good schools, friendly locals, a unique history, culture, and sights really worth seeing. Join me as I set out to discover all the exciting reasons why people call certain places home. This is Best Places to Live. Today we're on the Gold Coast atop the Hudson Palisades in the borough of Fort Lee, New Jersey. On this episode, we'll uncover many of the wonderful reasons why Fort Lee is an incredible living destination, from being the birthplace of the American film industry, to luxurious residences, delicious food, and who can forget the George Washington Bridge? Let's cross that bridge together to discover a whole new world on this episode of Best Places to Live. Downtown Fort Lee is undergoing a massive revitalization that has everyone from locals to tourists buzzing with excitement. To unearth all the hidden gems of this place, I'm going to need a tour guide with the keys to the city. So naturally, I caught up with Fort Lee's #1 fan, the main man on Main Street, Mayor Mark Sokolich. So we're on Main Street in downtown Fort Lee. Tell me all the exciting things that are going on.
The revitalization has been something that's been ongoing for a long time here in Fort Lee. It's been 45 years in the making. Just behind us is a lot that was vacant for 45 years, which is now in the process of getting constructed. Main Street's going through a rejuvenation with new businesses that are now coming into town, which we're very excited about. There's a new retail district at the corner of Main and Lemoyne called Hudson Lights, which is about to be unveiled, hopefully within the next several months. And the mix of people, both old and young and from varying countries and ethnicities, really make a community. It's a lot of fun, and it's a great place to be, it really is.
Fort Lee proudly hosts many social events throughout the year. The Arts and Music Festival, Music and Movies Under the Stars, and Shakespeare in the Park are among those that keep locals and tourists coming back again and again.
We do so much in this town. We have basketball all year long, badminton, volleyball tournaments. We have a movie and a band every Saturday night throughout the summer. And they perform on this outdoor stage. You can bring your blanket, you can bring your chair. You'll always have something fun to do in Fort Lee.
Fort Lee's Farmers Market drives in all types of business, much like these vendors who've been catering to the community for years.
The customers here are like family to us.
They've been so nice and welcoming since we started coming here 10 years ago.
Come to the mortgage apple cake stand. We have free samples, smiling employees, and the dog watching here is really great.
I've been coming to the Fort Lee Farmers Market approximately about 8 or 9 years now. It's a great town. People are wonderful for one thing, and they are very receptive to my produce. Try to venture down and see us. The weather permitting, we'll be here. Get your tables ready.
So what do you see as the vision of Fort Lee? How will it transform?
We view this to be a great and safe harbor for young professionals, for folks that are senior citizens, because we have an incredible amount of activities during the day and at night, and also young families, because our school system is very strong.
The Fort Lee public school system in New Jersey is made up of approximately 3,800 students in 6 buildings. We have a high school, a brand new middle school, and 4 elementary schools. The high school is known for its drama department, also its IB program, International Baccalaureate. We're one of only 2 schools in the county that has that.
And that's what makes Fort Lee strong, because no matter where you are and whatever point in life you're at, Fort Lee is the place for you.
Fort Lee's revamp, combined with the enthusiasm of its residents, has made it highly receptive to new business.
In 2002, 2003, the Fort Lee store was closed. After a few years, felt that we could make a comeback. My mom, who's 93 years old, said, let's do it. And we said, where would we bring it back? Let's bring it back where it started, in Fort Lee. We have our signature dog, a Pound Hound. We have delicious cheeseburgers. We also have something new, which is a sweet potato French fry. Callahan's is back in Fort Lee. Come on down and see us.
While these new businesses settle into their new home, others carry on traditions from generations past, evolving for the future of Fort Lee.
Cafazos has been an institution in Fort Lee since 1960. We are a fourth-generation supermarket, gourmet store. Fort Lee is very dear to my heart. It's a very tight-knit community, but yet growing and evolving. I love taking care of customers. I love creating displays. I've seen businesses come to Fort Lee. I've seen businesses go, but it seems to always keep evolving and always keep growing.
Much like their freshly made breads, Chrome's Signature Bakery Cafe is on the rise. Offering an assortment of treats, jams, and gluten-free bread options, it's a great local spot to meet, greet, and grab a sweet.
We were once the envy of Northern New Jersey, and we want to recapture that title. That's our goal. We are the host community to the busiest bridge in the world. I mean, that's a heck of a statement. We're very excited about a new adaptive traffic signalization system that's coming into town that's paid for by the redevelopers, which are a series of intersections that electronically monitor the traffic. You'll never be at a red light when there are no cars trying to cross any longer. If one intersection's overloaded, you get pushed onto another. We're super, super excited about it.
I'm so excited to explore all the great history and the culture and all the new buildings that are going up. Thank you so much. Fort Lee's aspiration for greatness courses through its veins, and the George Washington Bridge pumps life into the gates of this city. During its first year of operation in 1931, this marvel of engineering was responsible for connecting 5.1 million vehicles between Washington Heights and New Jersey. That type of real estate has become quite advantageous for commuters and for the Fort Lee cycling community as well.
The biker community of Fort Lee is kind of transient. We get a lot of people over from Manhattan. Fort Lee hosts the Grand Fondo New York, which is a really big bike race. It's an open race to everybody all over the world. I think we get 5,000 participants, and it starts in Fort Lee and finishes in Fort Lee. So it's a pretty amazing event. Even though it's called the New York Grand Fondo, we feel that Fort Lee is the home for it.
When it comes to living options, Fort Lee has something for every budget and lifestyle. Whether it's single-family houses, condos, or state-of-the-art luxury high-rises, it's easy to see why Fort Lee is being called the new New Jersey. Here we are at the Modern. Soaring over the Hudson River 47 stories high, the building features panoramic views, floor-to-ceiling windows, and over 75,000 square feet of luxury amenity space. Today we're getting an exclusive look at how the Modern is changing the landscape in contemporary living. Oh, wow.
We're 300 feet above the river, so the building is actually 800 feet, the equivalent of about an 80-story building. And the views are extraordinary regardless of what floor you're on. This is a great county, a great community, the borough of Fort Lee, and for many, many years it has always been viewed as a community that people found to be very desirable. There was a need for a new product, and the mayor and council were so accommodating in terms of wanting something that would be a catalyst for the redevelopment of Fort Lee. And we decided to build something that was extraordinary, a building that really is without rival here in New Jersey.
I guess the problem is once you come, you don't ever want to leave, right?
It's like resort-style living every day of your life.
Well, on that note, can we check out the amenities?
Absolutely. Let's go. Part of our 75,000 feet of amenities that are really extraordinary. Here is an expansive lounge area with a cantilevered pool table. We have a very large fitness center that's broken down into 3 areas: aerobics, Pilates, yoga, and then strength training. And it, in fact, has more equipment than most gyms have. Outdoors, we have a 81-foot long pool, a expansive lawn area that has a Jumbotron 19-foot television. So people will watch that during any time of the year. In fact, during Super Bowl, people, even though there was ice out there, they had to watch it on the Jumbotron.
You have barbecues out there too, so you can eat and then have a little picnic and watch the Super Bowl.
We have 10 barbecues. We have a regulation-sized basketball court, never at a loss of what I'm going to do today when you're at the Modern.
Thank you so much for the tour. This building has truly put a modern touch on luxurious living in Fort Lee.
Well, thank you for coming.
While I didn't have quite enough time to relax in their spa lounge, I did indulge with a few plays on their golf simulator. Then I figured, why not make time for a bit of karaoke? At this point, might as well go see what's playing in the screening room.
Entrepreneurs enthralled by the magic and Hi, I'm Christina.
Hey, I'm Tom. I'm with the Fort Lee Film Commission.
Oh, cool. What are you watching?
I'm watching a documentary we did about the beginnings of the American film industries that started right here in Fort Lee.
Really?
Believe it or not, yes.
I had no idea.
Well, you want to learn more, we could take a walk over to the Fort Lee Museum.
Let's do it.
All right, let's go. When they made these films in Fort Lee, they weren't just glass barn-like structures, they were full back lots. They would have set designers, costume designers, carpenters create these wonderful sets. What they used to do when they had big production is they'd close the schools and all the kids would be let out for the day and the people of Fort Lee were employed for $1 a day as extras. Buster Keaton made some of his first films in Fort Lee. Mac met Mabel on the streets of Fort Lee thanks to D.W. Griffith. So we have a lot of entertainment history on Main Street. When they were making films in Fort Lee, a lot of them were independents. They weren't part of the patent trust. So Edison literally would send Pinkerton agents armed looking for people infringing on his patent because he had all the patents for the equipment. It's 1917, 1918, and you have a very rough winter. The Hudson froze over. You had the flu epidemic in the East Coast that was rampant, and you had the vestiges of that bad feeling with Edison, and you had the Hollywood Chamber of Commerce beckoning with sunny weather and lots of land. So by 1925, all the major studios had moved from Fort Lee, and Fort Lee became a location for independent filmmakers for a couple of decades, but most of the business was in film laboratories and storage right through the 1990s.
Isn't the term cliffhanger that we all know and use so frequently, that originates here in Fort Lee, right?
Maybe half a mile from where we're standing on the cliffs of the Palisades in the northernmost section of Fort Lee, still looks very much the same. Cliffhanger Point, where Pearl White starred in The Perils of Pauline in 1914 and other movie serials, and that's where the term cliffhanger came from. But it's funny, the more history you read, it seems women come to the top in Fort Lee. Here, women not only had their own production companies, but they were stars, and they had a large influence in terms of the success of these studios.
That's right, very progressive. I like to hear that. That's
yes,
very cool.
Yes. Theda Bara. She grew up to be the first sex symbol of the American cinema with Fox, and she made that studio millions of dollars when it cost nickels to go in to see a movie. 99% of her films were lost in a vault fire. She's probably one of my favorites that made films in Fort Lee.
Are there any remains left of what used to be the film industry?
Locations used in films, for example, like Rambo's Saloon, which was a private residence for decades, was a bar up until 1980, almost going under the bulldozer recently, but we were able to have the town figure out a way to save it. That was probably the most important element that still survives, because that's where all the film crews ate lunch, where they exchanged notes. People like Billy Bitzer, who was a great cameraman from D.W. Griffith, came up with the idea of diffusing light by taking a tablecloth off a picnic bench and holding it up to the sun, right there. The interesting thing, what's happening on Main Street with places like the Modern and the new development, at the base of that development there'll be Barrymore Film Center, which will be a 250-screen cinema with an attached film museum owned by the borough, operated by the Film Commission. That literally is on the street where these films were made. So if you throw a rock, you'll hit the location where they made the first American gangster film in 1912. And we hope this history could integrate with the development on Main Street and really make Fort Lee something very unique, very close to Manhattan.
All this film history has me wondering. Much like today, Fort Lee actors must have been versatile in their talents in order to land major roles. So like any ambitious local, I'm off to earn my stripes in dancing, Fort Lee style. What inspired you and your partners to create this dance studio?
We started our first studio that we opened together with Max, my older son. He was former Dancing with the Stars champ and resident for, let's say, 14 seasons. We thought that it would be great to give something to the community.
What kind of dances do you specialize in?
So at Dance With Me Studios, all of our instructors are, professionals with a lot of experience in all the different styles, from swing to cha-cha to tango to waltz. Basically anything that you can dance, you can learn here.
Well, I would love to take a lesson with you. What do you suggest?
Well, I heard that you like salsa, but I think we need to do something here.
I know. You know what? I think I have the perfect thing to wear.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
I think I'm ready to dance now. What do you think?
You look beautiful.
I'm in the zone. I think.
Okay, I think you're ready. Yeah, this is exactly what we need. Now we just need the moves.
Okay. Okay, that's all I can do. So I need you to teach me the rest.
Okay. So,
Okay.
you said salsa, right?
Sure. Yes.
Okay, I would like you to start with your right foot back.
Okay.
Yes? So let's go. Right foot together, now left foot forward. Okay, you are natural. 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3. 5, 6, nice. Now let's go to the side. Side and together, side and together. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3. Nice.
6, 7.
1, 2, 3. This is what we call cross body lift.
Okay.
All
I
right.
like that.
So as of right now, you're already doing 3 steps.
Wow, this is
And
you're a very good
in
teacher.
like 30 seconds.
Wow.
Can you imagine what you can do in 1 hour? Wait.
Oh, I was too nervous.
Again?
Ooh, hi. Ooh, things are heating up.
Okay, so let's schedule your lesson.
I think I would love that.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
Best Places to Live is brought to you by Bank of New Jersey. It's all about relationships. Visit bonj.com to find the branch near you. The Chen Agency, dedicated to being the best in the real estate business. Forefront Capital, a proud sponsor of Best Places to Live.
Home is more than just a place. It's a feeling, a connection. That's why finding the right community to call home is important. But with so many options, how do we decide on the best place to live? I'm Christina Cote, real estate broker, comedian, and host. Through my experience, I've learned that the perfect neighborhood has more than just shopping and places to eat. It offers great living, good schools, friendly locals, a unique history, culture, and sights really worth seeing. Join me as I set out to discover all the exciting reasons why people call certain places home. This is Best Places to Live. Today we're on the Gold Coast atop the Hudson Palisades in the borough of Fort Lee, New Jersey. On this episode, we'll uncover many of the wonderful reasons why Fort Lee is an incredible living destination, from being the birthplace of the American film industry, to luxurious residences, delicious food, and who can forget the George Washington Bridge? Let's cross that bridge together to discover a whole new world on this episode of Best Places to Live. After all that dancing, I've worked up quite an appetite. But luckily for me, Fort Lee has some fantastic food options. I'm talking Greek, Korean, and everything in between.
It's Greek to me is a fast casual concept. Everything is made fresh daily. Everything is made here. Fort Lee customers know great Greek food, and we have it for them.
After all these years, to come back to Fort Lee and finally see stuff being built on it is amazing. People thought that it would never get developed. If you want a good time and have fun, GW Grill's a place to come in Fort Lee. American-style food with an Italian flair and brick oven pizza. Now we're going into our 2nd year and everything's been good, so we're hoping for longevity.
We don't have good customers, we have great customers. Right now is our Friday rush. We do schools, we do the police, we do the fire departments, we do just about everybody. We make all our stuff in small batches. We make our dough at least twice a day. Our pie is always fresh. Our dough is perfect, not good, it's perfect every time.
I came all the way from Toronto for a slice of Fort Lee pizza. It gets better every time here.
I did all my schooling in Fort Lee. It's crazy how good this town is. It really is. It's just a great town. We're here 43 years, so we know generations. We had many situations where the first slice of pizza for the grandson was brought in by the father and the grandfather. That's priceless. Yeah. Hey, here's a high school buddy. We couldn't have timed that better. This wasn't planned either. What's up, Davey? How you doing, bud? Good. Everything
When I'm in the neighborhood, always stop in the Fort Lee Pizza.
Anybody that spends $1 is a good customer. Anybody. Okay. Hello, Fort Lee Pizza.
We are here at Myeongdong Noodle House in Fort Lee, New Jersey. It has a variety of all types of Korean food that you could possibly get on a Korean menu.
Everything is produced in premise. We try to serve the best food to the community around this area. This is a hot stone dish. That's a special cuisine from Korea. We use the hot stone with the, on the oven. It tastes different and more fresh.
The dining experience in Fort Lee has taken off. This used to be a really small town back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, but just recently we've been evolving, and a lot of new restaurants, a lot of great Korean restaurants, a lot of new places to eat now. So it's actually attracting a lot of people from all over.
Fort Lee is exciting city because that the day and day that it is changing. You see that the big construction going on in front of this restaurant.
And seriously, you really don't have to go to New York City. You can just stay in Fort Lee and have whatever the city has. I think Fort Lee has the equivalent of it.
I've been coming here since I'm 12 years old. I live about 2 miles from here, and as a kid used to take my bicycle here. Take it from me, I'm Frank. This is the best place for Frank.
What makes your hot dog better than all the other hot dogs on the planet? I want to hear.
It's deep fried in our chili. The hot dog is made for deep frying.
I'm getting hungry. Can I try one of these
Absolutely.
bad boys?
How do you want it?
Whatever the signature way is.
Chili cheese on roll, please.
What makes Fort Lee great?
Hiram.
Yeah, boom. This looks amazing. Oh, really good.
First one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Really good. You've not had a hot dog unless you've had a deep fried hot dog at Hiram's in Fort Lee, New Jersey.
Next on my list of stops, JD's Steak Pit, where Chef Brown has taken his own approach on Korean-style barbecue.
How did you start doing Texas-style barbecue?
When I was young, my father liked cowboy movie. So I like cowboy style. And when I took to this restaurant, my dream, cowboy style food.
Because you're a cowboy at
Yes,
heart.
it's cowboy
You're a
hat
cowboy.
over
I
there.
can see it.
Texas, one style.
So how many pounds of meat do you smoke per day in this bad boy?
200 pounds.
Per day?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
At least 8 hours cook. And after that, when you try, this one looks like a butter.
Like it's burnt?
Yeah, it's delicious. Oh, hot.
Hot, hot, hot. This all looks amazing. Can we go inside and try some?
Why not?
Let's do it.
Let's go.
Thank you. Should I try it with a sauce or just like
Oh,
this?
yeah. I like a bourbon sauce.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. This
Yeah.
is good. Yeah, all up in there. Mm.
Looking nice.
That was really good. It's so tender. So you're from Korea originally, but you decided to open up a Texas-style barbecue restaurant in Fort Lee.
New building developing on the outside, and a lot of young people. We're using the different types of the food that people interested. Like a fashion trend, like a barbecue. This is something different barbecue. They enjoy the food over here. Second floor in bowling part, means a Louisiana style, Cajun style seafood. You don't need a fork and a knife, just using a 10 finger. They enjoy. It's like you love it. You're still young. You are young people like
Yeah.
it. You like it. Everybody like it.
Brown, thank you so much for the delicious sampling of food from JD's Steak Pit.
Thank you for coming to my restaurant anyhow. So.
Well, we'll be back to see our favorite cowboy very soon.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
While the roots of Fort Lee's heritage began over 100 years ago, this city surges with a renewed sense of energy and fascination. And it's all fueling Fort Lee's evolution as a world-class cosmopolitan community with a vibrant, exciting, and personally enriching lifestyle. Fort Lee is truly the standard bearer of New Jersey's Gold Coast Renaissance.
Well, that wraps up our trip to Fort Lee. Did you know that with over 250,000 vehicles crossing daily, the George Washington Bridge is the most traveled bridge in the entire world? It's a pretty amazing backdrop for a mighty impressive town. Don't let the chance to discover one of the best places to live pass you by. See you next time.
Good for you.